Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Empowered Pause. I am your host, Rachel Chinoa J. Um, it's good to see you on this Wednesday, July 24th. We're rapidly approaching the end of the month, and this month happened to be Minority Mental Health and Awareness Month. So last week we talked about the reason the month exists. This week we're going to talk about a few myths that we have around mental health in our community. Before we get started, though, I always like to give you a little information about the Empowered Pause and Speak Initiative, which is brought to you by, well, the Empowered Pause is brought to you by Speak Initiative. Now, Speak Initiative is a nonprofit mental health peer support organization, and our mission is to reduce the stigma around suicide and mental health in the Black and Brown communities by allowing our partners to speak, be heard, and live fully. SPEAK is an acronym that stands for Suicide Prevention Through Empowerment, Action, and Kindness. And that key word in there is prevention, right? Kindness is important, action is important, empowerment is important, but we want to prevent others from getting to that space where suicide becomes an option, right? So, as a mental health peer support organization, we stand in the gap with people who are experiencing mental health challenges or who have had past suicidal ideations. We stand in that gap by combating the rise of suicide in Black communities, eliminating a negative stigma around mental health and wellness in our communities, amplifying access to resources and support for mental health, and we work to support and encourage those affected by suicide to speak, advocate, and end the silence so that more of us can survive. Right. So I just want to jump into today's topic because last week, again, we spoke about Mental Health Awareness Month and why it was created and who championed for this month to be official for Black and Brown communities. Again, we know that, well, I said that Mental Health Awareness Month is dedicated to raising awareness about mental health issues in our communities. The month aims to highlight the unique challenges faced by our communities regarding mental health and to promote accessible, culturally competent mental health services. Okay, so I want to just jump into some of the myths that we've heard or that we might believe about mental health and combat some of those to see if the information that is given could be adopted into our present day lives to help us get to a better mental space. Okay, so um, let's see. We have a few. I'm only going to go through a few of them today. I may not get to all of them. If I don't, I will definitely continue this list next week as we close out the month. But I want to give you this information because I'm sure many of us have heard these myths, right? And combating myths is really important in this field. We shouldn't actually allow something that is a belief that may not be true or may be true for you, but not for everyone to stop us from getting the help that we actually need. So, myth one is talking about my feelings and needing help is a sign of weakness, right? Now, it's normal to need help from time to time, and talking, talking with others is a great way to get that. Some people in BIPOC communities believe that being strong means that they don't face stress or emotional struggles and can just keep moving toward or forward after a traumatic event. Others may feel that the challenges they face aren't anyone else's business. However, being vulnerable about how you are feeling and accepting help when you need it requires a great deal of strength. By asking and speaking up about your feelings and needs, you set an example for others to tend to their own mental health and emotional health. It can also be helpful to remember that while you may need help in this moment, you have probably provided help for others in the past and will do so again in the future. You can share strength with your community and they can help you with it in return, right? So, a couple of affirmations that are given, and by the way, this information is from Mental Health America. It's a great organization. They have wonderful articles, and I'm just giving you information that was shared by them. Of course, if anyone wants to read the article themselves, just comment and I'll drop the web address in the comments, okay? So some of the affirmations that we could use to combat that myth is: one, expressing my feelings and asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. Two, giving and receiving support is a part of a now in the past. I am allowed to receive support in the present, and I can give support again in future, right? Myth number two, what happens in the family should stay in the family. And I'm pretty sure many of us who are watching this who has experienced or heard one or two of these myths at one time or another in our lives, be it our children, our younger lives, or our adult lives, who may have run into some of these statements, right? So we know that family is important to many, and depending on your preferences or how you grew up, you might believe that sharing challenges going on within the family is inappropriate. You may have been taught that family concerns should stay behind closed doors and that you shouldn't air your dirty laundry in public, right? Some may also have been taught that seeking mental health care could bring shame to the family. Now, these are all things that I've experienced and heard at one time or another. I don't know why it's so hot. Hold on, I'm trying to get some air on me. I closed the window so we have noise suppression. However, now I'm melting. So give me a second. I'm sorry, in the middle of my pause, I'm like sweating and going through changes, but this is life, especially in the summer. So again, sometimes we think that, family concerns should stay behind closed doors, or airing your dirty laundry in public is something that you shouldn't do. It's going to bring shame, right? However, sharing your feelings and experiences with friends or professionals you can trust can be extremely valuable to you and your family. You might learn healthy coping and communication skills that would benefit you, but you would also positively impact your family dynamic. Because we are all interconnected, anything you do to take care of yourself naturally helps take care of your family, right? So, an affirmation that we can use to combat that myth is: I am allowed to express myself to people I feel comfortable and safe with, even if they are not my biological family, right? And the second is, I am allowed to create a chosen family that I can trust to listen when I need validation and support. Both of these I know I have used at one time or another to combat the shame that can be put upon you when you're sharing your challenges, right? And sometimes people do not understand that these are myths. I get better to help other people get better too. Anyone connected to me, hopefully, will reap the rewards of me being healthier and happier, right? And it can work for you. It can work for you as well. The third myth, and I'm sure this is really heavy in our community: therapy is for crazy people, right? Therapy is for everyone. No matter what stage of life you are in and wherever you are in your mental health journey, talking to a therapist who understands you can be extremely beneficial. Therapy can help. It can help you view yourself with more compassion, improve your relationships, set goals for yourself, and so much more. There are so many celebrities, BIPOC celebrities, who have opened up about the positive impact that therapy has on their lives. There have been athletes like Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka who shared that therapy was important for them after taking a break from competitions to take care of their mental health. Now, celebrity or not, therapy is something we can all benefit from as humans, since we are hardwired for connection. Every last one of us needs connection. The affirmations that come with this myth is, you could say, Going to therapy does not make me crazy, it makes me wise. Second one is therapy gives me a space to heal and grow so I can thrive, right? Taking ownership of your health, taking ownership of your joy and your happiness. That's what therapy can offer for you. The fourth myth, and this is a really controversial one, but it is a myth nonetheless. It says mental illness is a white people problem, right? Now, just like we all have physical health and sometimes get sick, we all have mental health and can experience mental health conditions. Over 20% of the population lives with a mental health condition, including Black and Brown individuals, BIPOC individuals. According to recent statistics, 17% of Black African Americans, 15% of Latinx or Hispanic Americans, 13% of Asian Americans, and 23% of Indigenous people live with a mental health condition. That doesn't sound like an all Caucasian or white issue, right? The American Psychological Association reports that the field of psychology is growing more diverse. However, 84% of psychologists in the US are white. With this in mind, it can seem as though going to therapy is only something that white people do. It is important for people from BIPOC communities to receive culturally responsive care within therapy. Therapists provide culturally responsive care, will work to understand your cultural background, validate your experiences of discrimination and stigma, and also apologize for any communication errors that cause harm, right? The affirmations that go with this myth are: everyone has mental health. It is a part of what makes us human. The second is, I deserve to work with a therapist who understands and affirms me, right? I'm not saying that therapy is the answer and the goal for everyone, but it's a very helpful tool to use if you have access, and a lot more people have access now, right? The fifth myth, this is another one I've heard myself and kind of disheartens me sometimes when I hear it, but it says, if you're struggling, you aren't praying enough. Now, struggling with your mental health does not mean that that you're being spiritually tested or punished for your sins, right? We all need support with our mental health sometimes, and seeking out help is an act of humility. Spiritual support can come in many ways and in many forms, such as people and resources that are put in your path to help you heal. Working with a mental health professional can supplement other sources of spiritual or emotional support. Many therapists are also spiritually minded, right? You may be able to find a therapist who belongs to the same religious denomination as you. Finding someone who recognizes the importance of faith in your life can make your healing experience more personal and effective. Okay, so the affirmations that go with myth number 5 were, if you're struggling, you aren't praying enough. The affirmations would be, my faith supports and strengthens me, and I am allowed to seek help from a therapist if I am struggling with my mental health. The next one is, my faith can support my work in therapy. My work in therapy can support my faith. It's not either or, it can be both. You do not have to choose what side to be on. There are many different ways and many different tools of healing. The last myth that is a heavy one for a lot of people is, my ancestors and family had it worse, so I don't think I have a right to feel how I do. And that's something I had said years ago, because I didn't put it into perspective, right? But you may feel guilty if you're struggling with your own mental health because your family made sacrifices in order for you to have what you have, right? You may feel like you don't have the right to complain because you feel like your circumstances are nothing compared to the levels of racism, displacement, and violence our ancestors went through, right? However, two things can be, right, like I just said, two things can be true at once. You can feel gratitude for your ancestors or your family and all that they have done for you. But you're also allowed to have and express your own feelings about what you are going through in the present. By seeking and accepting help, you can actually play a part in healing the generational trauma that exists within family lineage. In this way, you are both working to heal yourself and the trauma your ancestors went through. And the last couple of affirmations for this myth is my feelings are valid and I deserve care and support. When I care for myself, I care for my family and my ancestors. The second one is my ancestors would want me to be as happy and healthy as possible. I honor my ancestors by building on their legacy. And that's the one I actually love. Being happy and healthy as possible. Anyone who has loved you or who are in your family lineage or your ancestors, you would hope that that's what they would want for you, to be happy and healthy. So I lean into that during the times when I feel like, when I felt like I shouldn't complain because I was better off than some people, or I shouldn't complain because I have a job and I had material things that other people didn't have. Well, those things don't always make you happy, right? So those were a few of the myths, some of the heavy myths that we hear on a regular basis. And I just wanted to bring that information to you to combat that thinking, to remember that you deserve help, you deserve care. And it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. This is your journey. Okay. So again, as noted last week, this month was established to honor the work of B.B. Moore Campbell, who was an American author and a journalist, a teacher, and a mental health advocate. She was a champion for mental health education and support for minority communities and played a pivotal role in raising awareness about the unique mental health challenges faced by people of color. So I just wanted to express gratitude for the work that she's done and the work that is continued to be done in the face of minority mental health, right? So that is my pause for today. As always, I hope these words have been empowering, encouraging, or helpful in some way, because as I motivate you, I'm motivating myself, right? If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges and need assistance, please know that you're not alone. At Speak, we are not therapists, we are just peers who simply understand, and we're here to be a resource to offer additional resources to those who may want or need them, or to continue your journey to your whole self. Okay, so thank you again for joining me today. Join us next week as we close out Minority Mental Health. And as always, I ask you to comment, like, react, share this video and our information so that we can reach anyone who may be in need. Please also visit our website for information, join our mailing list, or perhaps support us with a donation. Remember, our voices hold power, but only if we speak. So speak love, choose life, and until next time, take care.